I posted earlier just saying I'm excited about it to kind of
Yeah.
remind people. And I posted the link in the comments there too.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I love them. They're so freaking nice.
We do.
We
We
have
are
the
on
best community.
air. Yay.
Awesome.
Hopefully people actually come and watch in YouTube. I'm sorry, spapreneurs, for the stressfulness of, what is technology? It stinks and I don't like it. So I use a product called Webinar Ninja, and normally it works great. Today it decided to, I don't know, it needs a massage, it needs a facial, it needs something. So I'm gonna put the link in the what you call it, the group one more time, but this will be sent out. So no worries, everybody. Don't freak out if you missed it live. Trust me, Amber's in there all the time. I'm in there all the time, so you can ask all your questions. So, but I see another Amber is on, another Amber Graslow. Thank you so much, Amber, for being so flexible. This is both Ambers. So, hello, Amber Duggar. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I
Now
am
that
good.
everything's subsiding, we're on the air.
Yeah, and this is the thing, guys. I didn't discover this until about a half hour ago. So I'm like diligently trying to like do technical support. So we've all been there. Luckily, my other job, I actually do these things for a living. And Amber knows this because she's actually been on a webinar with me for podcasting. So it's kind of nice for you to sit here. So yes, yeah, it's not just Webinar Ninja having issues. Oh no, Amber. Oh God. Oh God. Hopefully this
Oh,
isn't having issues either. All right, we're gonna get started. This is
wow.
de-stressing your dollars. This is totally the let me explain to you how amazing this woman is. So we are celebrating our 1 year anniversary, practically, where I started working with her. So happy anniversary, Amber.
Happy
Um,
anniversary.
yes, I just re-upped with her as a private client. Very excited. And what it is we work together, and she has the most organic, delicious way of looking at money so that I don't stress out about money. I just say, okay, this is the plan. This is how we do it. And I need to explain to you guys, she had a woman, you can see how neurotic I am about technology. Imagine me with money. So again, I come from a place where my husband used to handle all the finances, like all of it, like paying bills and balancing the checkbook, and I just spent money. And then he died. And so I didn't know what to do. And yes, I could have gone to my dad and had him explain things to me, but no, I found Amber because I needed business advice too. So I started reading a book called Profit First by Mike McAlevitz. He is a mentor of Amber's and he's amazing. But I didn't understand the book. So yes, so Amber is here to, she started explaining the book to me. I reached out to what's called Profit First Professionals and they lined me up with her, and it was just ideal. It was a match made in heaven because since then I have paid off thousands of dollars in credit card debt. I have made thousands of dollars through my various businesses. And this doesn't count the spot income, guys. This does not include de-stress at all. But what she's done is she's really freed me from the crippling effects of money so that I know my money has a purpose and a plan in my life and that it is so much more effective. So spapreneurs, welcome Amber Duggar to the show.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ramona. That was so, so sweet.
Yes, it's very, very true. So this is going to be unlike most traditional webinars. Most traditional webinars have like a bunch of slides, and Amber and I were talking. We are like, we don't want to do slides. We don't want to do any of that because it's boring. Number one, and number two, we wanted it to be a really good conversation between us. So and Bailey, I see you on here. Thank you so much for joining us live, girl. And all 11 of you who are watching, go ahead in the live chat. Just let me know who you are so I can see. Thank you guys so much for being so flexible with the thing. And again, the replay will be available for you guys. So don't worry about that if you have to leave, if you got clients, if you're coming in late. So no stressing out here. So Amber, the first thing I really want to do is just have you explain yourself a little bit better than I did, and maybe Profit First, because I think that's the foundation of everything that we do.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. Well, first, I want to say hey to everyone. You guys are an amazing group of people. So I just want to say thank you so much for all your kind words and everything that you're posting. It's just so much fun to be in that group. So please do ping me afterwards if you have questions or if you're watching the recording. I absolutely adore Profit First. When I first came across Profit First, I was running a group program for health coaches and getting their personal finances and business together. And when it was coming to the business side of it, I was still trying to come up with a really awesome method for business expenses and business in general in terms of handling the money. To give you a little background, before I went into my own business, I worked in business finance in different areas. I was a controller. Worked in pricing. I did business pricing analytics. And so when I went into business for myself, I was originally a health coach. And as a health coach, I, with all of that background, really did not have a very good idea of what to do with my money when it came into my business. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I have all this experience in finance and I'm having trouble figuring out what to do with this money that comes into my business, how the heck are other people supposed to do this? And so I set up a YNAB budget, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And when I got my first deposit from my first client, I just put it on a line. I was like, I'm not touching that money. I'm going to just leave it there because I have no idea what to do with it. I know part of it will go to taxes. Well, fast forward a couple of years, I went into what I would call holistic money cash flow strategy type business, because I was getting approached more and more by health coaches and other people in the entrepreneurial space and service-based space, asking, how are you so calm with money? How do you handle your money? And I had been looking into wealth consciousness and also money mindset techniques, and I could not find anything out there that created a really fun, safe, non-judgmental space to discuss money. And that's something that we don't typically talk about, but it's always on our mind. So a lot of times we are thinking a lot about money, but never feel like we have a place to talk about it and find out, wow, a lot of other people may have similar fears, similar thoughts around money. And so whenever I thought about financial management, I thought of a guy in a gray suit in a sterile office. And then I thought, well, no wonder no one wants to talk about money. First of all, it brings up all this emotion. It brings up, just this tense feeling in your body. And then also the only place you can go talk about it, it seems pretty intimidating and definitely boring. So I wanted to create a place where we could actually have fun. We could enjoy talking about money. We could feel like we could just let our guards down and just explore our relationship with money, and also the practical tools involved to getting control around money. Because once you have control over money, it's like, wow, okay, you can breathe again. You can have sleep again. It's not constantly on your mind. Wouldn't you say, Ramona?
I would absolutely say, and I'm going to give a personal testimonial right now. So this summer, a lot of you guys may not know, I have a rental income. The house that my husband and I lived in, I moved out of to move into Ceci's house. That's why I live with Ceci, because, while you're actively grieving, you need your mama. You just do. So the kids and I moved into Ceci's house, and so I needed to rent out my house. And for 3 months, I was without a renter. So I had to cover the mortgage myself, and I was able to, and I was still able to pay off bills like debt I incurred. So I don't want you guys thinking, oh, well, that's great and all. I did not have a huge, and Amber can tell you, she's in my money all the time. I do not have a huge nest egg. Yes, I do have my parents that help me, but a lot of us have like partners that are helping us while we're building our spa businesses. So it's very similar to that. So it's amazing what happens, the freedom that happens. And Whitney Cummings just wrote an incredible article. I don't know if you saw me post it in the YNAB group, Amber, but about how she reframed. She's the woman that came up with Two Broke Girls, the comedy show, and she reframes it. So she doesn't call it money. She calls it freedom. She goes, how much freedom am I going to invest in my 401k this year? How much freedom am I going to invest in this? How much freedom? And the minute you start thinking about it, it takes this like scary greedy away, and it helps us. So guys, whenever a client cancels on you and you don't charge them your cancellation fee, you're giving up some of your freedom. And the minute you start thinking about it that way, it completely changes. So all of a sudden, like Lynn and I, we just released the episode about raising your prices. The minute you decide, I need more freedom, I'm going to raise my price to where it's honorable, you reframe it that way. It's not greed. It's about what I need. So I'm already getting, Rebecca is in the chat, by the way, Amber, and she's already mentioning Denise, the DTT, the Denise Thomas. Yes. Get rich lucky bitch. Yes. So Amber is a follower of the Denise. So don't worry. Yes, we do believe in the manifestation as well. So
Absolutely.
and that's why Amber's perfect for this group, because guys, she was a health coach, so she understands holistically. She knits. And this is the way she sounds. Like the way she's talking is the way she sounds during our coaching calls, which is really odd because again, I'm all this like frantic. And she's like, okay, Ramona, today we're going to do this. So yeah. So let's talk about Profit First. Profit First is an amazing system. Tomorrow in the modules about gift certificates, guys, I talk about Profit First and how to use it towards gift certificates. So we're going to talk about that today too. But it is the system that I use for every single thing. Anytime I sell an email course, anytime I do anything in my business, whether it's a coaching call with one of you guys, whether it's my work or podcast websites, it goes through a formula called Profit First. So Amber, do you want to go over that?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Profit First is a concept that's super exciting. And when I read it, like I said, I was in that group program that I was teaching entrepreneurs how to handle their money, both personal and business. And when I came across this book, it was 2 a.m. I could not put it down. I finished the entire book before sleeping that night because I was so excited about this. And this is how the effect for most people when they get Profit First, not just a money geek like me. So Profit First is essentially turning around accounting, turning accounting upside down. Instead of saying that your sales minus expenses equals profit, you're saying sales minus profit. In other words, paying yourself first, whatever's left is your expenses. So as you know, when you run a business, you're always looking at your bank account and you're trying to figure out, okay, how much do I have to pay my expenses right now? And then at the end of the year, it may look like you have a profit, but you look at your bank account and you go, where the heck did that profit go? So Profit First, I'm going to just show you on a piece of paper. So imagine this is your revenue coming into your business. Okay, so this is like a dollar bill coming into your business. Well, currently it goes into your account and then you use it to pay expenses. Your pay, your business expenses, and I'm sure a portion of it probably goes to tax.
We hope.
We hope.
Uncle Sam will always get his, ladies. So make sure you pay him because he's going to get it.
So the idea behind this is that you actually, instead of just having it there and you're hoping that you pay your taxes and that you have enough for business expenses, when it comes in right away, you're going to take a certain portion of it and put it in another account, separate, you no longer see it, in profit. So that's your profit, put it into another account. So now you have this much left over, and this is how much you have to spend. Then you put another portion into another account for your taxes. So that's now in another account. So this is what's remaining. Then, of course, you have to pay yourself. So you take that amount, put it in a third account, and that's where you're going to pay yourself from, that account. This is what you have left for business expenses. And this is when you can get a good reality check and say, do I have enough? Okay, I don't. I need to reduce some of my expenses. And then you get the realization, this is why I feel like I'm constantly on a hamster wheel, because I haven't been putting aside the money for the taxes and paying myself appropriately and enough for profit. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, the concept of Profit First. Does that?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see any chat, so I'm not sure if there's any questions.
No. I think they're all kind of just like waiting. I know you don't. Amber doesn't see any of the chats because it's on YouTube. I can send you the link, Amber, if you really want to pull it up and see. But that's pretty much what Profit First is. The idea is number one, you pay yourself first. That profit portion, guys, is really important because it reminds us that we as the business owner, our business works for us. We don't work for our business. So many of you have left corporate massage gigs or corporate day spas. So many of you have left corporate America to become massage therapists, to become healers. Well, you might have done that one because you wanted to help people, and that's fantastic. That's an amazing reason to do something. But realistically, a good portion of us left that environment because we wanted control. We wanted freedom. And what this system does is allows you freedom. And Amber didn't come up with the system. Mike did, because he's insane. in the best possible way. Like he's a mad genius, in the nth degree. Like he has a podcast and he grunts on it and he screams and he makes you scream, and it's very freeing when you go on. I've been on. I'll post the link to it in the Facebook group later. But what it does is, again, we use a system called YNAB. I don't know if anybody's seen YNAB. Let me know in the chat. Heard of YNAB, because it basically is the most fun app ever, because it uses red, green, and yellow to let me know where my money is. It's with me all the time, and so I can check to see. Like last night, I went out with girlfriends for a birthday dinner, and I knew I had plenty of money in my account to do those things. And I'm about to go to England in what, 2.5 weeks, Amber.
Yeah.
I know I have plenty of money saved up for that. It's amazing what happens, and it's fun. Like it's a game for me at this point. And I do not like structure and rules and things like that. It's just not my tendency, but this system's made it work. And what it does is it allows you guys, so when you get like $50 in, let's say for a half-hour massage, you take again your portion immediately. That's your profit. That goes into a bank account. You don't get it for 3 months. And I know that seems weird. Wait a minute, I want my profit now. You take half of that money and you go do something fun for yourself. That's when you buy shoes. That's when you go to fancy dinner. Sometimes I'll take the kids and we go to what I call junior partner dinner. And I'm like, look what mommy made with her money. And we're at this fancy dinner. It's fancy to them. It's like Cheesecake Factory. That's fancy for the kids. So we'll do that. Or that's when you treat yourself to a spa day, or you treat yourself to, I don't know, something. And it's not a business like investment. So like, people are like, well, I want to buy a hydraulic table. No, you use your business expenses, you save up for the hydraulic table in there. That way your profit's always something fun. You can take your profit and put into an account for vacation. Rebecca, if you wanted to go stalk Jon Snow, you could go do that with that money. He's getting married soon, but I'm sure that if he meets you, he'll realize his mistake and find you. So yes, I know this. You could be Khaleesi. Anyway. But that's the point of it. It gives you all these possibilities. Like next year, ladies, I'm going to put it out there now in the public. Amber knows I talked about it yesterday. I am planning on buying a house, me by myself without a man, just me. And it's exciting. The only way I can do that is through this system. I'm super excited. Rebecca writes, yes, he is choosing the wrong redhead. We know, Rebecca. We know he's your man. So that's what I mean the system does. So let's talk about YNAB and how the two of them work together, because I think that's important. I don't see anybody who understands what YNAB is.
Okay, so YNAB stands for you need a budget.
Ooh, there's that B word.
I know. And the crazy thing is, it's not even a budget. So they use the word budget because everyone that is saying I need control around my money Googles budget. But it's not a budget, because a budget always has you leaving the end of the month feeling like you failed. There's always going to be red marks. If you guys have used Mint before, you may set everything up, and then if you overspend in a certain category, it's just red, and then the next month it resets. And then you wonder, why am I never actually getting a handle on this thing? This system is an envelope system. So just like what I explained with Profit First, that's essentially an envelope system, right? From the 50s. I put the profit in an envelope. I put the salary in an envelope. I put the business expenses in an envelope, and the taxes in an envelope. When I came across Profit First, I immediately saw some tweaks I wanted to make personally. So instead of opening all these accounts, now I want to preface this. You can do it either way. You can do it very traditionally and set up the accounts, or you can use YNAB. So don't think that you have to do this option. But regardless if you do or not, YNAB gives you more clarity around the business expenses account and your personal spending account. So what it does, instead of having one account for your personal, and all your money is now just sitting in personal and you're spending it, you're instead putting a certain amount towards mortgage, putting a certain amount towards your utilities, putting a certain amount towards vacation every month. So that gets bigger and bigger. For Ramona, we have a line, a certain amount is going to go towards a down payment on a house. What this does is it gives you organization around the money that you have in your bank account. So you stop looking at your bank account balance, and instead you're looking at certain lines, which are like mini bank accounts. And the cool thing about it is you roll with the punches. So you may have a plan at the beginning of the month. This is what you want to do. Then you're halfway through the month and you still haven't really gone out to eat very much. So you have some money in dining, but then you have the most amazing opportunity to go on a spur of the moment weekend trip with your girlfriends. Well, you can look at your budget. You can say, okay, well, I don't really have any cash for this, but I really haven't been going out to eat, and I have $200 in that account or in that line on YNAB. You can choose to move money from one line to another and say, okay, I'm proactively moving this, knowing that I'm now not going to spend money dining out because I really want to go on this trip with my girlfriends. So it gives you a lot more control and intention around your money. So when you give intention to money, all of a sudden you don't feel guilty when you spend it because you've put money there for that specific intention, and you're saying, I'm giving myself permission for this, and that's totally fine because I've set up all these other lines and I'm taking care of myself in these other lines. One other thing I want to mention is you have certain things. This is, I think, the golden nugget of YNAB. We never feel like we have a normal month, right? We always say, okay, I'm going to be really good this month. I'm not going to overspend on dining. I'm not going to overspend on these other areas, and I'm going to be really good. And you're sitting there and you're like all proud of yourself, and then boom, your 6-month car insurance premium hits your mailbox, or Costco membership gets debited from your credit card, or, oh, Amazon Prime is due this month. That's so aggravating, right? Because you thought you were doing really great, and then you have several $100s leaving your bank account. So what YNAB allows you to do is actually prepare for those things. So for example, I have a line for a holiday, and every month I put $50 in that line. I don't touch it all year, but in December, I now have $600 to go and buy a new dress for a holiday party if I want, buy gifts for my friends and family, and not feel that crunch in January when it comes to the credit card bill arriving in January. So that's just some things that are really awesome about YNAB.
Yeah, Bailey just wrote, or dogs or a house and lose a tooth. Yes, I have a pet line.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I have, Amber knows, I have several tiny human lines. I have their grief therapy, which is very important. That's non-negotiable. I also have karate, which Amber knows every month. It's like, we need a new weapon. We need a new gi. I'm like, this is the most, I'm like, it's just them learning how to use their bodies to fight. How is this so expensive? Girl Scouts. You would not believe how expensive Girl Scouts are. And mine's the top cookie seller. I'm like, doesn't she get a break in anything? No. Or like, I love to send them to this sleepaway camp every year. It's $2,700 for me to send to them. So right now, I was looking at YNAB this morning, and I would have to save, and I think I can do it between now and March, $540 a month towards that. And because I know where my money's coming from and how to do it, I'm like, you know what, I can do that. And it allows you to choose if you want to sacrifice in one area. And if you guys do read the Get Rich Lucky Bitch, she talks about this a lot. She talks about honoring your money. YNAB is allowing you to honor your money because you're giving your money a purpose. It's not just sitting stagnant. It's basically you give every dollar a job. I've got a question from another Amber. So can you use it for the business and personal? I've been trying to connect how to make each one work, although I guess you can have multiple accounts to sign into. This is a great question.
Yes, you absolutely can, Amber. So you can create multiple budgets within your account in YNAB. So you can have one for your business, one for personal. If you have a rental property, you can actually create a whole separate budget just for a rental property, which is really helpful for some people. But then when you make a transfer from one budget to another, they are not connected at all. So when you pay yourself from your business, it's going to be as if you're paying anyone. You're paying yourself, it's going out of the budget, and then you will create a deposit in the personal side for that paycheck that you're receiving from your business.
Yeah, I do it for mine. So I have a business one set up, and then I pay myself once a month. I take out that owner paycheck and I say, thank you, business, for providing me this money. I then transfer it from my business checking account. And Mom and I have talked about this. I know Amber believes in it. If you do nothing else, ladies, you've got to have at least two separate bank accounts, one for business and one for personal. Ideally, if you follow Profit First down to the letter, you're going to have multiple bank accounts, one of whom, particularly the tax one, you want in a checking account, like, or a savings account that you can't touch unless you physically go to a bank you don't want online access to it because you don't want to be able to easily transfer the money out. Because it's very tempting. You see this kind of pile of money sitting there, you're like, oh, that looks really good. That's Uncle Sam's money. We can hope and pray he doesn't need that much money, but he always needs money. So, credit union versus traditional bank, Rebecca. Me personally, I love a good local bank. That's my personal choice. Amber has some great online banking options that are really good too. If you don't have a local bank you love, I think she uses Spark from Capital One that works really well. I would hate paying $15 a month at Chase for a business account too. In fact, when you go to a local bank, typically you can negotiate. Like with mine, I negotiated and said, I'm a small business just starting out. I do not want to pay fees, and they're like, we'll waive them for the first year. And they'll do that. So, that's what's great about going with a local banking institution. And Rebecca, you have Spark too. And with Rebecca, you may too, because you are a massage coach, you're a spa coach like me, and you've got the day spa business. You may need two separate accounts for those. That might just be easier for you. I would not put your actual day spa business money mixed in with Badass Body Workers money. I would have those in two separate accounts, and I would have two different budgets in YNAB, honestly, for those. Like, I'm even thinking, Amber, for London, for England, I'm having a separate England budget for YNAB, just so I'll pull the money out of my personal account and my business, because it's kind of a hybrid account, and that way I can allot what I'm spending for each thing. That way I know.
Yep. Or you could create a separate category group as well.
Yes.
And you can just hide all the other category groups until you come back.
Yeah. So what I like about it too is that they use this thing called whack-a-mole, where, if you've got like a sudden, if you have a sudden like bill that comes up, like she said, sometimes you have a surprise. Like, again, a dog knocks out a tooth or a child breaks something. Because that will happen, all of a sudden, or they outgrow all their pants. God,
all at once.
All at once. They both done. Like, you bastards, stop growing and being healthy children. Stop it. I'm kidding. No, universe, I love my healthy children. So, yeah. So that's what it does. It just frees you. And here's the thing. I do not make any money off of YNAB, and neither does Amber. They don't have an affiliate program. So we're not, it is a little bit of investment. I think it's what, $50 a year?
$50 a year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's well worth it. Because it's awesome. So I just realized my YNAB account's up soon. Oh, well. I'll pay that gladly, because it really does make it easy, guys. There's other apps too, but this is the only one that I have found, and it links to all your major bank accounts and things like that. This is a good question. Amber writes, so I share a business account with my business partner, and what we want to do is know how much we can spend versus what is in our account. We did the whole, we have money and spent it, and realized it was a no-no. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about that, because between Profit First and YNAB, it really does help you kind of avoid me personally, this is what Amber has taught me. I look at my bank accounts just to reconcile and make sure I've got the transactions, but all my money decisions are made while I'm looking at YNAB, because that's my real true plan. Because in my checking account, it's just like there's $2,000 there, and I'm thinking, yay, shopping spree. No, that $2,000, all those little dollars have, budgets and those kind of things. So, yeah, it's just they have jobs. So that's where you start, is you have to train yourself, right, Amber, to look at YNAB, not your bank account, when it comes to making business decisions.
Yes, because you've earmarked your money. So one thing, if you have a business partner, the way that Profit First works with that is the owner's pay account is for all owners in the business. So if you and your partner are splitting the proceeds of your owner's pay portion, then you would have two lines in there, one for your owner's pay, one for your partner's owner's pay. And then when you have money come in and you've calculated the percentages for each of these things, your profit, your owner's pay, your tax, and your business expenses, you will then put a portion of owner's pay to your line and a portions of owner's pay to your partner's line. And then it's very clear how much you have available to pay yourself and how much you have available to pay for your partner. And then you will also have the rest of the money that you're allocating to your joint business expenses. So there's no question over what money's meant for what, because you've now earmarked all the money in your business bank account.
And your business bank account, you guys can earmark things like, again, education. Let's say you're planning, and this is why Lynn and I always say plan, plan, plan. So next year, if you know you're going to take like fire cupping, if you're going to take, regular cupping, if you're going to take ashiatsu or prenatal class or whatever it is, you can earmark, how much it's going to cost, like the actual course. If you're going to travel like World Massage Festival, we already know how much that's going to cost. So you can earmark how much that's going to be. Then you can also earmark in your business, because this is a write-off certain travel items, you need to check with your local accountant. Neither Amber nor I are accountants, so we will not be able to guide you with that answer. But you'll be able to earmark things like plane travel, the hotel, some dining, other things, taxi rides, Uber rides, all that stuff adds up. So you can have little line items for each of those things so you can kind of track and see, so that at the end of the trip, you can kind of see, okay, I didn't spend as much as an Uber. So then you can roll it into another account or something like that. If you plan to do major upgrades to your day spa, whether you're buying hydraulic tables, whether you are investing in a better microdermabrasion machine or other kind of equipment, these are the kind of things where you can start planning now. And it's amazing how fast it grows. One thing that we will be going over tomorrow in the 31-day challenge is gift certificates. So I was talking to Amber about this yesterday. We're going to go through it with you guys right now. So you're getting a little preview of tomorrow, because I'm actually having to redo the module a little bit. So for those of you who have independent contractors, that means that you are merely a pass-through with the money, that they have an arrangement with you to work at your day spa for, they get a certain amount or commission or whatever it is. That money doesn't actually go into your profit first. You immediately take that money out. So for gift certificates, well, we do a de-stress because all of our service providers are independent contractors. We immediately take out the portion that we estimate is going to be the percentage for that service provider and the tip, and we put it in a separate gift certificate account that's an interest-bearing account. This is very important. If you can get an interest-bearing account, even better. And it sits there for a minimum 90 days to make sure that we've got that money in reserve, so that when the gift certificate is brought in, we have the money to pay the service provider. Because again, rule number one at Spapreneur is you don't fuck with the money. And one of the ways we don't fuck with the money is we make sure we pay our service providers on time regularly. It is very smart, Amber. This is something between Amber Duggar and my dad we came up with. So you put it over there, you kind of park it. Now, after 90 to 6 months, you can take some of that money if they haven't come in, and you can reserve it in another account for like building capital or emergencies if you want to. But I wouldn't necessarily, unless you're always getting constantly gift certificate revenue. Like we at De-Stress are constantly getting gift certificate revenue, so we're able to do that, and my dad does it very, very well. Once they get paid from that, that's where you take that money from. So you can have a line item in YNAB saying, this is the escrow account for gift certificates. Mary Sue came in and got a massage from Trina. We owe Trina $35. So we take $35 from that account. We transfer it in so we can pay Trina, the independent contractor. Okay. If they're an employee and they do hourly wages, that employee is part of that bigger chunk of business expenses. So front desk staff, any W-2 employees that you have are part of that business expense, because they're technically write-offs for you, but you're going to have to calculate again their taxes, the Social Security, all that stuff. So these are the kind of one of those weighing option things. This is why, as part of your overall plan and business team, is to have the best accountant you can afford by far.
Definitely. No, all of that works really well. So basically, the main thing you want to take with between independent contractors and employees is independent contractors are bringing revenue in to your business directly. So if they're providing the massage, then you're getting the revenue based on the fact that they are performing the service of the massage. And because of that, you don't have control over that cost, because you know that if you want the revenue, you need to have that cost for the independent contractor. And that's what differentiates that from salaried positions that are there regardless of whether or not you bring in direct revenue. And so you have more control of the salaries versus the independent contractor. So the independent contractor's cost is removed before you allocate profit, business expenses, pay, and salary.
Yeah, they're basically a pass-through. So how do you, Amber, then, because sometimes with independent contractors, there's things called room expenses. So sometimes for certain services, I get my independent contractors because I provide certain products for them to use in a service. They have to pay a product cost. How do I calculate that? Because they're basically paying that for me out of the portion that we give them.
So that would be considered materials. So that would still be before true revenue. And true revenue is what's allocated to the different accounts. So that would still be part of the top thing that you would take out.
Okay. So I hope you guys, and if you guys don't understand this, we will go over this again, because I think this is really important. I think this is where a lot of spapreneurs, they get hung up because then they're like, well, how can I afford a front desk staff? Ramona and Lynn talk about front desk staff, and I think it's great, but I can't afford it. This is how you know you can afford it, is when you do profit first and you start, number one, you should not pay anybody before you pay you. It does not work any other way. Otherwise, no one should work for free. It's one thing to choose to give your time to a charity. That's way different. You are not a charity. You are not a volunteer in your business. Your business works for you. So that's number one. Number two is that the only way to know that you can afford front desk staff or to expand and add more people is that, number one, you can pay yourself, you can pay your profit, you can pay your taxes. Then with all your business expenses, you kind of look. So you have to look like, when I first sat down with Amber, the very first thing we did was we literally listed everything I spent, both business and personal, on 2 separate Google Sheets, honestly. And we had to list out what's called in that 12-month fee where you have, let's say you have a 6-month premium for insurance. Like, a lot of you, if you don't have liability insurance in your day spas, you are just risking so much. We have at minimum, I think, a $5 million policy at DeStress at this point, because we must, in case someone falls and trips, it just knocking on every piece of wood I can. That does not happen, and we never have to use it, but it's there because it could happen. So that's a 6-month fee. We have to divide up. So we basically create our own installment plan, guys, without interest, because we're saving the interest by,
That's
paying
exactly
ourselves.
right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. It's fun and it's flexible. Like, you can do everything. You can make it your own. And that's the sort of thing. So I don't want you guys thinking like, okay, they're talking about a lot of stuff, I don't know how to do this. Let's say I get the book Profit First, Amber, and I decide to get YNAB. What is my very first thing I need to do?
The very first thing I would do before even getting YNAB would be setting up a separate bank account at your bank and just start putting 1% of all your deposits into that bank account. That is your profit account. Just start with that. That's something that you guys could all do today. After you've done that, then you can read the book. The first 3 or 4 chapters are really the main bulk of what you need to know, and he did that on purpose because he knows most people don't read through a whole business book. So he's also hilarious in the audio version, so if you guys want to be listening to it to and from your car, that also works. What I would do is I would sit down with a Google Sheet or with a piece of paper, it doesn't really matter, and list out all of your personal expenses that you want your business to support, that you want to be able to pay for from your business. So you write all of those out and you add them up and you have a number. So that's the amount of money that you would like to be paid on a monthly basis from your business. Then I would list everything out. I would pull out all the statements from your business. So if you're using a credit card for your business, if you're using a business bank account, pull those statements and go through and mark anything you see that you definitely don't need and cancel them right away. Because that is the fastest way to start saving money, is by looking and saying, oh, I'm paying for this service that I never use and it's $30 a month, so I haven't taken the time to cancel it. Cancel it. So you can go through the highlighter. I like pink personally. Highlight whatever favorite color you have and eradicate those expenses. Once you have all the business expenses, then you can figure out, okay, I want to pay myself this much. This is how much my business expenses are. And then you can determine from that what your overall revenue should be. And so there's a process in the book. There's also a process. I'm doing a challenge on the 23rd. You guys can go through it with me if you'd like, and you get a revenue goal that allows you to see how much you want to be bringing into your spa each month to be able to pay yourself, to cover your business expenses, be profitable, and have enough money for taxes. And then at that point, then you open up a YNAB account, and that will be for personal. And then once you get personal down, then you can open up a separate one for your business and then start using it for your business. And then over time, you'll start learning more and more. So you'll start to get more clarity. For example, Ramona and I have been working together for now a year. Mm-hmm. We were looking through her YNAB and seeing, let's see how close we were in terms of seeing how much you spend on these different areas. And some of them were spot on, and some of them were surprisingly less or surprisingly more than what we had guessed at the beginning when we started working together. So you start to be able to actually make adjustments based on your history the more you use it. So it's a really useful tool.
Yeah, it really is. And also, I want to be really clear. You don't have to pay for a separate YNAB subscription. You can add as many budgets as you need to on YNAB. So
Yeah.
if you have like a wedding coming up, a major event coming up, you can add an event, a budget for that if you needed to, or like she said, a separate category and all. And there's a lot of tutorials and things like that how to do YNAB. So because I used to use like Every Dollar by Dave Ramsey, and that just didn't work. Like she said, Mint. This way, it's just truly flexible. Like she really hates Mint.
I hate Mint. I don't use hate very often. I hate Mint.
Yeah, you do hate Mint, so
I
we
do.
didn't even bother with that one.
Yeah.
So it just gives you more flexibility. And again, I know my spapreneurs, I know what you guys are like because you guys are like my mom. If it's not fun and easy to use, you are not going to do it. I know this about you, so please don't say, Ramona. Trust me, the ones that already know how to do this are not listening to this webinar because they do not need to. And there are those, like I've got one massage therapist in our group, Michelle, we've talked about her in the podcast. She is such like she just has her shit together, which is amazing. None of the rest of us do. So I hire someone to help me get my shit together. Basically, that's what Amber's here for. She's really get my shit together with money coach, if I put it bluntly like that. But yeah, no, it's just an easy system, and I really wanted to share her and her wisdom. And again, I apologize guys for the craziness of the technology. Again, Webinar Ninja has worked in the past. I don't know what's going on. They are like updating and adding cool new features, but when our audio and you couldn't see our faces don't work, then what's the point of the new features? So I will be messaging them going, yo, not cool at all. So yes. Yes, Rebecca. So we also found out lately, we we were, and Rebecca, I'm not going to call out their names, but Rebecca and I are part of a mastermind of really high level coaches in the health and wellness space. And we were talking about, Rebecca and I are working together. She is an affiliate of our email class, and she's introduced to Babs, and we've added in a whole bunch of bundle stuff to make it just a really delicious deal so you guys can know how to use email, because I know email honestly is the cheapest, easiest way to interact with clients. Amber's a big fan also of email for her business. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, because it's really cost effective, like building an email list. It really is.
Well, and it's the way that you can communicate with your tribe. I mean,
Yeah.
communicate with your clients. It's so important to have that constant communication so that you can say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, directly, like immediately, not just because again, if we put all of our stuff on rented land, which is what Facebook is, guys, if we're building it there, then the problem is what happens if Facebook shuts down? I'm sure everybody who loved MySpace and built tribes there, who's on MySpace anymore? You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. Or Vine, for example, that weird app thing where people are posting 10-second videos, it's gone. Blab a couple years ago where they used to do these kind of fun videos like this, gone. So I'm just saying, your email list you own. Email is never going away. It's been a zillion years, and email is still the one thing that still is there. So not but yeah, we were amazed at how many people at our level, Rebecca and I level, and Rebecca has a great email list, and I obviously have a great email list, and we were like, what? You're not using your email list? Shame, shame, shame. So make sure you're using your email list, guys. Use all your tools available. And that includes getting your money straight, because if you guys have money blocks, it's often because of disorganization and not having a clear-cut plan. And sometimes what I have found is that typical business plans don't work for our industry, because ours is a fluctuating industry. We're about to get in a busy season where you're going to get a lot of money coming in, but you have to reserve it for later because it's in gift certificates. And there's not a lot of service-based industries that really do that like day spas do, not even hairdressers. So that's one of those things where we really have to, if you want to do gift certificate sales well, one of the things you have to do is honor the money that comes in and not spend it right away. And it's so hard. But this system, if you follow it and you do it and you really believe in it, it will work for you. I am proof positive. A year later, I am almost debt free. I will buy a house next year. I mean, it's amazing. And just, yeah. So what other questions do you guys have for Amber? Amber and I are going to chat a couple more minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up because Amber has got like the coolest thing, because I work directly with Amber. I'm not going to tell you how much I pay, but when I do tell people, they're like, oh, and I'm going, I can't imagine not paying it, because not paying it, for me, it's the best investment I make in myself and my business. we meet twice a month, one-on-one for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And we are talking about my money. I have my chief financial officer is Amber, and we go through every item. Like, so when I wanted to invest in a mixer for the podcast, we looked at it and said, yes, now's the time to invest in it. When I said yesterday, I've been talking to a mortgage person, let's really break down, can I afford to buy a house? And we did some number crunching, and we're like, okay, this is the number I have to hit. And we broke it down by units. So I know how many of what I need to sell. And then it's just clarifying having this person. So Amber is so good at what she does. She barely takes private clients on anymore. She is at her point where she's like, she can't handle any more Ramonas. So what do you do, Amber, if you cannot handle more Ramonas? Because we are a lot.
I love my Ramonas, especially you.
Yeah.
So what I have been doing is building a group program that allows you to have a group experience at a lower price point that allows you to get all of this set up. So you can get your personal set up, you can get your business set up, you can have a revenue goal that actually means something, because that's always something that's hard, is figuring out how do you get your strategy if you don't know exactly how much you should be bringing in to be able to cover your own lifestyle, not the spa down the street, right? Like everyone's situation is different. And then putting it into a system that allows you to have control over your finances, both in your business and your personal. So it's a 12-week experience. It's a group. It's for service-based entrepreneurs, spa owners, massage therapists. It's meant to be for someone that is taking money for services, not e-commerce, not for, a whole bunch of retail things. YNAB works really well for this. And so it's called Budget Alchemy. It was named by a whole bunch of people in my community, Sweet Life Purposeful Money. And we had a little contest to see what the name should be. So it's Budget Alchemy because I do believe that this is magical. I do believe that every single one of you is good with money. You just don't have a system that proves that to yourself. And what lights me up more than anything is seeing someone go from feeling like, I just suck at this, I'm not a numbers person, this is so not my thing, I hate systems, to getting really excited about their money, to seeing all the potential and the freedom that they get from having the system. And that, I want to get up, I get so excited. So it is a 12-week program. It's starting November 13th. This is the founding round. I'm really excited about this because it's really going to get this out to more people and more service-based entrepreneurs. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm ridiculously excited for this because, again, I truly think I would not be able to have the successfulness of Spapreneur and be able to come up with ideas like the 31-day challenge without being stressed out about money. Because if I were stressed out about money, guys, I would not have the time to make all those videos. Do you know how long it takes to make 31 videos? Especially when now you realize you have to redo one. It doesn't take that long. I have a system, but seriously, I have to pay for Jess Hershey, who's also, I sent Amber Jess Hershey, by the way, guys. So if you need an excellent VA, she is also Amber approved. She's divine. And yes, again, she has a holistic nature about her as well, which I think is odd that I've kind of collected these women around me. And normally I actually do better with men. It's the oddest thing, but anyway, it's an amazing system. Again, just like any course, you guys have to invest in your business. And so often we focus on, and I agree with them, the CEUs are really important, knowing how to do different massage techniques and different things like that. I highly recommend investing in that. But if you don't have your money shit together, you can't do anything good for your clients. If money is blocking, you're bringing that shit into the treatment room, guys. If you're like, oh God, how am I going to make my rent this month? You're bringing that into the treatment room. You're bringing that negativity and that energy in, and that's not a good place to be. And your clients feel it. So sometimes if you're not getting clients coming back in, and you're doing all the things I tell you to do, it may be because money's blocking you. There's a reason why Denise sells so many Get Rich Lucky Bitch books, because she knows what she's doing. There's a reason why people like Amber exist, because she's like the money Sherpa. She takes you from one section to the other, and it kind of is like, whoa, I can really do this. And here I am now a year later. Thousands of dollars in credit card debt. It's amazing. I just found out, I'll give you guys, let me be truly honest. I just found out there was a credit card that my husband and I had, I completely forgot about. and my grief and everything else. It happens. So I already have a plan to pay that off. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stress out about it. Like I talked to Amber yesterday about it. I'm like, this happened. And it was just so matter of fact that I'm like, what has happened to me? Because before, if I found that out, because I found it out by looking at the mortgage, I was like, I would have curled up into a ball and eaten like an entire pint of Ben and Jerry's, and I'm super lactose intolerant. It would have been bad for a lot of reasons. So just that amount of power for me to be able to sit here in my closet where, we record the episodes of Spapreneur, and I'm able to tell you, like, this really works. I feel as convicted about this as I do email, as I do about not discounting, as I do about any of the other advice I give you guys. This is the one area of the business that I'm like, she does this better than any other person I have met. And I have met Dave Ramsey. So she really, I have met Dave Ramsey. I do love me some Dave Ramsey. But she does things like, if you want to still use a credit card, she has a plan so that you can still use credit cards and get points, but you're not going into debt by doing it. You pay off the interest. It's a magical formula. I don't understand it. YNAB does it. It's like boom, and okay, they just do it and they force you to. So I'm telling you guys, this is the best investment you can make in your business right now, besides anything else I send you. Because if you don't have your money stuff together, it just will never work. Your business will never work. It's why rule number 1 is don't fuck with the money. It's not about greed. It's not about that money has all the power. It's just simply the fact is that in our society, you must be able to have control of your money, because money, having control of it, is freedom. And that's what I want for all of you. Rebecca is saying she's met the Dave Ramsey, but she's meeting Denise on October 27th. So really, that's all she cares about. She's going to Dallas to meet Denise on her tour.
That's super exciting.
I am very, very excited for you, Rebecca. I'm sure it's going to be divine and lovely. I would have gone, but I'm going to England. So that's where I'm traveling. I'm going to England, so which is crazy to me. I might try to actually hit up a spa while I'm there. Might as well, right?
Heck yes.
Yes, like English spa. I wonder if they serve like proper tea and scones and clotted cream instead of like cucumber slices. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. So, Amber, if they want to know more about you, I'm going to encourage Amber to go ahead and post all of her links to everything in the Facebook group. I know most of you are in there. She's going to send me the information. So I will send this along with this replay. And again, thank you everybody to just be flexible with this technology. You guys have been great. Amber, Bailey, I love you so very much. I'm so glad you were here. I kind of miss Vine too, but I'm glad it's not around for when my children are teenagers and they do God knows what. Rebecca, you are my spirit animal. Like, if I could be anybody in the world, like, I would be that crazy redhead down in Louisiana. Louisiana redheads are the best. And to everybody else watching this replay, thank you guys so much. Again, always, my mother and I do not take it lightly that you guys are listening to our advice. These two crazy women in Virginia who sit in closets and podcast and sit in their pajamas and talk to you about random things. And the dogs are crazy. And if you've listened to this morning's episode, the first 2 minutes of it, as I was doing the show notes last night, listening to it, I had to stop because I was laughing so hard at my mother. Because just listen to the first 2 minutes of it and you'll understand why. So again, we'll see you guys in the group. Amber, as always, I love you so very much. And these spapreneurs will be foolish not to at least subscribe to your newsletter, because at the very least, or join your free Facebook community, because it's full of just delight and wonder, as always, like you are.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun talking with you. I always have a great time talking to you. And you guys, honestly, post your questions. I'm in there. I'd love to help you, regardless of if you do the course or not. There's so much out there, and there's so much support. So just know that getting your money sorted is the best thing you can do for yourself, your business, and your sanity. So thanks so much for being here, you guys, and for taking your lunch hour with us.
Yes, thank you so much. And again, the replays will be available to all of you as soon as I download it. So expect it in a day. I will probably actually post it up in the Facebook group so that nobody misses it. Erica, I'm so glad you're here too. I love Erica Olson. You are in that group rocking this challenge right now. So again, guys, make sure you listen to the podcast, because we're talking about raising your prices today. I know a lot of you guys are like, I don't know if I can raise my rates. My mother and I go through it and we talk about it, and we're going to bring you through it, guys, because 2018 is coming, y'all, and it's going to be the best fucking year in the world. I
Woo!
guarantee it, because I am owed a good fucking year. I've been through the 2 years of grief now. I feel like I'm kind of coming out of it, and I'm super excited about what's ahead for Spotpreneur and all of you guys too. So thank you guys for being my tribe, and Amber always. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.
Mwah. Bye.